Good evening, General and Executive Board members. My name is Erica Abe, your current new student representative, and I'm running to be your administrative officer for the following school year. To be honest, I found my role as NSR to be kind of contradictory. I was meant to serve as a bridge between new students and this organization, yet I couldn't seem to find my own sense of belonging. Throughout my time of doubt in my connections and my leadership, I kept coming back to a purpose that Elijah shared at my very first EBM. Be the reason why people stay. Reminding me that this was more than just my own feelings, rather it was the initiatives I needed to carry out so that other GBMers could find their place and feel comfortable. I am proud to be a part of Samahan at its highest retention. However, I've also recognized its weaknesses, one I've seen both as a GBMer and as NSR. These flaws do not discourage me because I know that we can grow from them. Coming into eBoard as a first year, I was lost. My own transition was delayed and was left up to my own interpretation. This pushed me to get more comfortable in asking questions. But it also showed me that our transitions need to do a better job of supporting those who have had a harder time adapting to new environments. With that in mind, I want to expand on my role of transitional documents beyond the paperwork with a more conversational approach, implementing more one-on-ones between incoming and outgoing members so that the handoff of information is better understood. I believe that this can work hand in hand with ABLE, especially when it comes to shadowing. I plan to develop a structured timeline for what specifically should be covered for each shadowing period and how to go more in depth if this shadow period extends. I experienced a lot of shadowing just be tasks rather than hands-on learning about how they approach their position. I know that there's a more effective way to shadow, which is where I want us to improve to see people integrate better into their role. Now I will move on to structural change. Strong relationships within the board matter. They boost morale and make the work feel so much more meaningful. But those friendships should never be the reason for leniency when accountability is needed. Being empathetic to one's struggles and setting clear boundaries are not opposites. Rather, they are both parts of good leadership. Without structure, extensions and flexibility become the default, and it becomes difficult for us to be seen as a reliable executive board when we are repeatedly inconsistent. I recognize our current practices and would like to build off of these. With continuation of discounted board-related expenses in conversation with our treasurer, for example, $25 banquet ticket. If a member is unable to perform their duties as promised or is frequently late to events, they would be expected to pay full price rather than a discounted rate. This is similar to the FACN model. If you are unable to uphold your duties, it would lead to a $15 charge. Rather than being charged per individual incident, this creates an accountability system that holds people responsible over time. To increase organization, I would like to implement the Band app. This separates formal org work and calendars from a casual group chat space. Although this is a small structural shift, I believe that this is one that makes a real difference in how a board communicates, as I have seen it to be effective in my past leadership. In running for admin and understanding my responsibilities, I was told that this was a behind-the-scenes role and I would not get the recognition I deserved. But this is not my intention of running, for receiving the approval or praise of others. Rather, I'm content in the simplicity of my duties, believing that this is the foundation of how we carry ourselves as an org. I plan to assert myself as a top 5 member and expand from what my role writes out to be. To do so, I want to implement event approvals. This would be a form to entail organized approvals before each event is approved. Outlining the events, the intentions, and how it will be executed is super important for the board to understand, but to oneself to recognize and thoroughly plan out the goals per event. My role and reflection upon past event evals can call for problems that tend to be overlooked. When there is more thought and purpose for what we put on, leadership gets stronger and involvement follows naturally, rather than just event spamming with no true purpose. Everything GPMers experience begin with us. Although these changes mentioned mainly seem internal, I firmly believe that with an unstable executive board, there cannot be a stable general board. I know what it feels like to be new and wonder if there's even a space for me. This is the reason why I continue to stay and why I hope to be the reason, yung dahilan, into why others stay. Thank you and maraming salamat.